Thank you all for being here today, and for interviewing for the 20th anniversary of the fellowship. We're really glad to have you here. We can just start off by each of you introducing yourselves. If you want to share your names and then your background with the fellowship, which host organization you worked at, and your cohort year. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Gabriela Gomez. We were in the cohort 2016. Yes, and I'm currently the Assistant Director of Operations at SEO. When I was at FAO Fellowship, I was part of Breakthrough New York, a site in New York City with Joe.
Yes, and hi, my name is Joe Rosales, also from the fellowship class of 2016. Currently, I am an associate director at Student Leadership Network, but I was at Breakthrough New York for my site working with the high school program.
Awesome, thank you. So the first question that I have for you all is just, can you tell us a little bit about your post-fellowship careers, what you did immediately following the fellowship, and following your fellowship graduation, what you're doing now, and then any hopes for what you want to do in the future?
Yeah, so I can go first. So after my 2 years at Breakthrough New York, I moved to iMentor, where I was a program manager. So a lot of all of my work at Breakthrough New York was related to the high school program. So I worked with 9th through 12th grade. And in my time there, I found that 12th grade and kind of upperclassmen in high school were probably my favorite parts. I enjoyed working on the college application front. I enjoyed working with students and discovering what they wanted to study and where they wanted to go and pushing them to consider all of their options in New York, out of New York. And so found myself at iMentor where I was able to focus on the mentoring side of supporting students in high school. So I was there for a few years, and then for the past 6 years, I've been at Student Leadership Network, which is an organization that works in New York as kind of one of our main sites, but we have a lot of different partners across the country. And yeah, at Student Leadership Network, I was a director of college counseling for 5 years, and so I was fully in a site, in a high school site in Queens, serving as the school's primary college counselor, college and career counselor, and so was able to really, really dive into working with 11th and 12th grade, supporting from the beginning, from thinking about what they wanted to study all the way until they graduated from high school, and even working with some of those students in their first couple years in college. And so did that for 5 years, loved doing it, loved working with the students, loved kind of in that line of work, really found what I wanted to do, starting all the way from Breakthrough. And then now, this last year and a half, I've been associate director, where I'm now supervising a group of counselors across the 5 boroughs, doing the same work that I used to do.
For myself, at Breakthrough New York, I was working primarily with middle school students. So that was something that I was looking for after the fellowship. And so during that time, I was able to work for 3 years with Harlem RBI, what they're called now, Dream Charter School. So that was working in an after school setting at different school partnerships in the South Bronx, and just having program development there with our middle schoolers. That shifted into Dream Charter School, so working in East Harlem in a school setting. So I was able to see the different environments of working in an after-school setting, working at a school setting, and for both, what I really held on to was just program design, program development, and also just logistical planning. So that's why I made a career shift to operations itself. So right now I work with a program that is a college access program for high school students in New York City, but my work involves in the operations team. So just making sure the program has the materials, the space, the contracts, all that set up so that folks in programming can really do the best work they can with our kids.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds like you all have worked in a lot of different capacities here since your time as fellows. So with that, what are some of the most important skills that you feel like you gained during your time as a fellow that you've used throughout the rest of your career to this point?
For me, I would say confidence. and I know like is confidence a skill or is that an ability? But I think it allowed me to ask questions, go into the workspace with curiosity, which part of it already, like this was my first job after college. So I was already in that space of, I know I need to know more. Like that, I didn't know a lot, but knowing that in the fellowship, especially during the retreats, we were already in that mode of like, you're going to learn from other people, you're going to learn from other organizations. It just fed me so much so that when I brought that to my job, where I was like, oh, I saw in this organization in Philly, they do it like this. Why is it that we don't do that? Or how have we developed a similar process to it? So already I was asking questions. I was comparing from other organizations that I had access to. And then through that, like through the fellowship, knowing I had contacts, like just gave me more confidence to ask more questions at work or be able to advocate for myself more or just go in like with a lot more confidence in the room, which was super helpful. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, confidence is a really good one. I think I learned how to take risks. I think at Breakthrough, working in the high school program, it was a team of two, and we really were just kind of developing the program from the ground up, which is a very crazy assignment for someone fresh out of college to have to really do, to be like, all right, here you go. And so because of that, I was able to kind of learn how to try things out, what to do when they don't work, how to innovate, how to adapt, how to continue to kind of work and not let it get you down if things don't turn out the way that you want, or if things go in a completely unexpected way. How to kind of learn from those mistakes or learn from those kind of developments, and just continue to kind of further deepen the work is something that I think is very, very important, and something that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to really develop so early in my career without the fellowship.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you both for sharing that. I'm definitely learning a lot of that right now as a fellow as well. I've gained confidence even though I, haven't completed the fellowship yet, but a year and a half in, I think there's a big difference between, who I was when I came in and who I am now. Definitely feel a lot more prepared for the rest of my career and social impact. But reflecting on your time as fellows, do you have a favorite part of the fellowship that you remember or a favorite memory that you'd like to share? I know, Gabby, you mentioned the retreats and those are always a good time, but yeah, any favorite memory?
Yeah, I would definitely say the retreats. Those were my favorite times. I just love, it's already in my nature to just like be in a space together and just collaboratively learn. So that was a part that that's just, I hold a lot of precious moments with that. But yeah, the retreats are definitely a big highlight. How about for you?
I mean, ditto on the retreats. I think they were obviously very fun to just kind of like see people that were also in a very similar boat as us, early in our careers. But it was also just nice to be able to talk and understand that our experiences were similar. I think it's very easy when you're coming into a new space or even a new position or career to feel like, oh, are my questions based in reality? Am I understanding what's happening correctly? And so to have those few days where you're just kind of talking, like, oh, you know what, my manager did say something like that. Here's what I did, or I have a question about how this program might turn out. It was nice to be able to kind of share in that, and obviously hearing from the professionals at the other organizations, hearing from Priscilla and the people in the fellowship, I think was really helpful. I do also want to emphasize that my favorite part was also just getting to understand what I wanted to do. I think in college, I did American Studies and fiction writing for my majors. And I did that because of the interest in the subject, but I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. And so going into this kind of social impact work and understanding, oh, you actually really like education. Oh, you even like counseling and supporting students and supporting the kind of emotional side of the process, I think was paramount to my confidence going into my career moving forward. And again, I have the fellowship to thank for that, obviously.
Yeah, awesome. I agree with both of you. I think like retreats were obviously have been some of my favorite parts of the fellowship as well, and I'm definitely also learning a lot about myself. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit on what the cohort experience was like, what it was like building relationships with other members of your cohort, and if you're still in touch with anybody from your time as fellows, if you can share what that was like.
Yeah, so having a cohort was really incredible because we had our group of New York, we were very lucky that we were in the fellowship together. And so through that, we were able to kind of share our experiences on a day-to-day basis, but then we were able to then pass that along to our fellows in Philly and Boston and New York. Again, I really loved the opportunity to have a connection with people in similar spaces and kind of learn from them as we learned with each other. And then obviously, Gabby and I started dating and now we're married and we have a life together. And so I think that is obviously a personal highlight for me and hopefully for Gabby as well. Just that opportunity to get to know somebody. And aside from Gabby, we do keep in touch with a number of people from our cohort, and it's nice to be able to check in, whether on LinkedIn, whether on Instagram, whether just like on a text or phone call, just to see how people are doing, and knowing that, like for me, might have a student who's interested in environmental studies, and so I can reach out to Jen, and who used to work at Riverkeeper, and like all these kind of spaces and organizations and subjects. It's nice to know that the cohort kind of continues on even after you graduate from being a fellow.
Yeah, of course. There definitely have been really strong bonds that have formed within my cohort as well. So yeah, last question for you all is just about your time as alumni mentors. So obviously you're alumni mentors to Jacob and I, but I know you have been alumni mentors for a while. So if you wanted to share what that experience was like, and also if it's changed your perspective on the fellowship at all, maybe some of your favorite advice that you like to give to your mentees.
So much of that is just extending and providing space, extending a hand and providing space for folks to not feel alone. And I think that's been the purpose as an alum mentor, to just be like, hey, like you have a question or you want to talk something through that's happened, in your professional life, or you're still navigating the what am I gonna do question, like please like reach out to us. So I think part of that is, for me, it was just continuing to provide that space because the one thing I do share is like it's messy. Just it's okay that things are messy. Like I know for myself, I always considered people that were older than me or people who were like in different roles than me. It's like, oh wow, they're there because they have their stuff together, and it's like now that we're there in that age or in that career path, that's not really true. So I think to provide that visibility and like not to scare someone else to be like, hey, like it's messy everywhere, but just to provide a reality of like, hey, like we're all just trying to figure it out. And we're all human. So it hopefully it provides some comfort.
It definitely does. That's very reassuring. Thank you, Gabby.
Yeah, I mean, I want to echo what Gabby said. I think I really appreciate the opportunity to work with fellows now because it just keeps me connected to the kind of experience. It keeps me kind of in the loop on what's going on.
Oh.
Sorry, our cat. And it just allows me to kind of re-experience and kind of re-understand what I was able to do. I mean, I think Gabby hit it on the head to be able to say, to be able to be that kind of guidance for somebody in the way that people were guides for us. I think is kind of speaks to the nature of people who work in social impact. We're doing what we do because we feel a relative calling to serve and better the world in some capacity. And so to be able to have that opportunity to work with you, to work with all the other current fellows, I think reinvigorates me. I mean, I love being able to go to retreats when we're able to, or go to the dinners when we're able to, and just kind of hear what people are up to, see people who were before us. We had somebody at Breakthrough before we were there that would, shared his experience, and we still keep in contact with him when we can. And so, the best part of the fellowship for me is just the network and the community. And so to be able to do things like this, I think speaks to how important the fellowship was to my life and to our life.
Yeah, that's really great. Thank you all for, continuing to mentor us. I think like I've learned a lot from you just today and also from, all of the time that you've served as our alumni mentor. So really appreciate your continued involvement in the fellowship. But yeah, that was all I had. I do want to give you all some space to add anything else that you feel like you haven't been able to share before we close out.
No, just welcome to the fellowship. If you're considering it, definitely do your research and see what's available, what positions are available this semester or this year. But yeah, we're just excited to know what you're passionate about and to share it with others. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely apply.
Ditto.
All right, awesome. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. See ya.